Crafting Eryndor Essence is a key progression step in ROM Golden Age, especially for players aiming to enhance Eryndor Star. This material is not optional for late-game upgrades, and understanding how to obtain it efficiently can save time and resources. One of the core requirements for crafting Eryndor Essence is the Eryndor Fragment, which is obtained exclusively from the Elven Mine dungeon. The Elven Mine dungeon is a daily limited instance that can only be entered for 1 hour per day. Because of this restriction, efficient farming becomes extremely important. Every run matters, and players need to maximize their time inside to secure enough Eryndor Fragments for crafting. This dungeon design encourages consistency rather than long grinding sessions. Inside the Elven Mine, enemies and mechanics are designed to slow unprepared players. Knowing the layout, spawn patterns, and enemy behavior allows you to clear faster and reduce downtime. Since Eryndor Fragments are the primary objective, focusing on optimal routes and avoiding unnecessary fights improves fragment yield within the 1 hour limit. Eryndor Fragments serve as a core crafting component for Eryndor Essence. Once collected, these fragments are combined through the crafting system to produce the essence required for enhancing Eryndor Star. Without this essence, further enhancement progression becomes locked, making Elven Mine an essential daily activity for serious players. Enhancing Eryndor Star provides meaningful stat improvements that directly impact combat performance and long-term build strength. Because the enhancement relies on Eryndor Essence, missing daily Elven Mine runs can slow progression significantly. Consistent fragment farming ensures steady access to upgrades without relying on market availability. The 1 hour daily limitation also balances the economy. Since Eryndor Fragments are time-gated, their value remains stable and relevant throughout progression stages. Players who farm consistently gain an advantage, while those who skip runs may fall behind in enhancement capability. Elven Mine is designed to reward preparation. Entering with the right build, sufficient sustain, and efficient skill rotation increases fragment acquisition. Small optimizations, such as minimizing downtime between pulls, directly translate into more crafting materials over time. For players focused on long-term growth, Eryndor Essence crafting represents a system that rewards discipline rather than luck. Daily participation, efficient dungeon routing, and understanding material flow are what separates steady progression from stalled builds. By consistently farming Eryndor Fragments in Elven Mine and converting them into Eryndor Essence, players ensure uninterrupted access to Eryndor Star enhancements. This process highlights ROM Golden Age's progression design, where daily content, crafting systems, and equipment upgrades are tightly connected. If you're aiming to strengthen your character efficiently, mastering the Elven Mine dungeon and the Eryndor Essence crafting process is essential. 1 hour per day, used correctly, can define your long-term power curve in ROM Golden Age. Beyond basic farming, understanding timing inside the Elven Mine dungeon can significantly affect efficiency. Because the dungeon is limited to 1 hour per day, entering at a focused time without distractions allows players to maintain momentum and avoid wasted minutes. Treating the Elven Mine as a planned daily task rather than casual content improves long-term material accumulation. Mob density and respawn behavior inside Elven Mine influence how many Eryndor Fragments you can realistically obtain per run. Clearing areas methodically instead of rushing blindly reduces unnecessary damage and downtime. This approach ensures sustained farming throughout the full hour instead of being forced to slow down due to resource depletion. Inventory management also plays an important role. Ensuring sufficient space before entering prevents interruptions that waste valuable dungeon time. Since Eryndor Fragments are the main objective, prioritizing their collection over lower value drops keeps the run focused and efficient. Crafting Eryndor Essence should be viewed as part of a progression loop rather than a one-time goal. Daily fragment farming feeds into regular crafting, which then feeds into consistent enhancement attempts for Eryndor Star. This loop reinforces steady growth instead of relying on burst progression or market dependence. Enhancement planning becomes more predictable when Eryndor Essence is crafted consistently. Players can schedule upgrades, manage resources responsibly, and avoid overextending materials during risky enhancement attempts. This controlled approach minimizes setbacks and supports sustainable progression. The daily restriction on Elven Mine also encourages long-term engagement rather than burnout. Instead of endless grinding, players are rewarded for regular participation. This design aligns with ROM Golden Age's emphasis on structured progression and meaningful daily content. For newer players, Elven Mine serves as an introduction to time-gated material systems. Learning how Eryndor Fragments feed into Eryndor Essence helps build an understanding of how higher-tier crafting systems operate later in the game. This knowledge becomes increasingly valuable as progression deepens. Experienced players benefit by optimizing their Elven Mine routes and refining their farming rhythm. Over time, small improvements compound into noticeable gains in Eryndor Essence production, directly translating into stronger enhancements and better combat performance. Eryndor Star enhancements are not just numerical upgrades. They represent commitment to character development and resource planning. Each successful enhancement reflects disciplined daily effort rather than random chance, reinforcing the value of consistent gameplay. By respecting the 1-hour daily limit and focusing on efficient Eryndor fragment farming, players can steadily build the materials needed for long-term success. Elven Mine may be limited in time, but its impact on progression remains significant. This crafting pathway highlights how ROM Golden Age connects daily dungeons, material systems, and equipment upgrades into a cohesive progression experience. Players who understand and follow this system gain stability, efficiency, and reliable growth over time. Mastering Eryndor Essence crafting through Elven Mine is not about rushing content, but about consistency and planning. One focused hour per day is enough to maintain competitive progression when used correctly. Another key factor when farming Eryndor Fragments in Elven Mine is combat efficiency. Choosing skills with strong area damage and low cooldowns allows players to clear mobs faster while conserving resources. Since the dungeon duration is fixed, faster clear speed directly increases fragment yield over time. Potion usage should also be planned in advance. Running out of healing or mana during the 1-hour window creates unnecessary downtime. Bringing enough supplies ensures continuous farming and prevents early exits that reduce overall efficiency. Party play inside Elven Mine can improve farming speed if coordinated properly. While solo runs offer flexibility, small groups can clear faster and control spawn areas more effectively. However, coordination is essential to avoid splitting experience and fragment drops inefficiently. Understanding enemy patterns inside Elven Mine also improves survivability. Certain mobs deal burst damage or apply debuffs that slow farming pace. Recognizing these threats and prioritizing them helps maintain consistent progress throughout the run. Crafting Eryndor Essence becomes more impactful when paired with enhancement timing strategies. Instead of enhancing immediately, many players accumulate multiple essences to reduce emotional and material risk. This mindset helps avoid impulsive decisions that can stall progression. Eryndor's Star enhancement plays a central role in character strength scaling. Even small upgrade levels provide noticeable stat increases that affect both PvE and PvP performance. This makes Eryndor Essence one of the most valuable crafted materials tied to daily content. Because Elven Mine is time-limited, missing a day directly delays enhancement progress. Consistency matters more than intensity. Players who farm fragments daily progress faster over weeks compared to those who farm irregularly, even if they play longer sessions elsewhere. Market dynamics are also influenced by Eryndor Essence availability. Players who craft consistently gain flexibility, either using the material for personal upgrades or leveraging it for economic advantage when demand rises. This adds strategic depth beyond pure combat value. For players balancing multiple progression systems, Elven Mine serves as a stable anchor. Regardless of other activities, 1 hour invested here guarantees measurable advancement toward Eryndor's Star upgrades. As characters grow stronger, farming efficiency inside Elven Mine improves naturally. Faster kills, reduced damage taken, and optimized routes all compound into better fragment acquisition without increasing time investment. This creates a positive feedback loop where Eryndor enhancements improve dungeon performance, which then improves future crafting speed. Understanding this loop is essential for long-term character optimization. Elven Mine may appear simple on the surface, but its integration with crafting and enhancement systems makes it one of the most important daily dungeons in ROM Golden Age. Players who master it gain steady, reliable power growth. By treating Eryndor fragment farming as a disciplined daily routine, players transform limited-time content into a powerful progression engine that supports endgame goals without unnecessary risk.